From the very beginning, I realized I saw the world differently than everyone else. That didn't sit well with some people. But I wasn't for everyone. Oh, sorry now. And I was ready to make a statement. How does the saying go? I am woman, hear me roar.
Hey Cinemark, I'm Dave Rispoli, and I'm chatting with the cast of Disney's Cruella. Mark, my first question is just, what is it like to be part of something that already has this built-in fan base and is so highly anticipated?
Well, there's a lot of responsibility attached to the fact that, you know, people, they love this character, they know the character really well, so it's important that you get it right. I feel Craig has been a brilliant person to take it on, and I think Emma Stone just gives a phenomenal performance. So I think, you know, it's come out really well.
What was it that drew you in? Like, what was your conversation like with Craig at the start of this?
I'll tell you what drew me in. I mean, I am familiar with Cruella, the story, the animation, and the Glenn Close movies, and I've always loved her. I think she's been such a fun female character, and I think she's like iconic in her style and her laugh and her hair. What really drew me in is it being an origin story. So us not remaking what people have seen, but us going back and going, this is before what you've seen. And then knowing that Tony McNamara was on board, Craig, who's a wonderful director, those were the things that kind of gave me such confidence that though this would be a Disney film, I knew it would be approached in a fresh and unique way.
Joel, Paul, the kind of Laurel and Hardy dynamic was so fun to watch. I just want to know what the filming process was like, and was it as fun to work on? We'll start with you, Joel.
It was fun to work on, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a vibe of like the work had to come before fun, and ideally at the same time. But it was great to work on because there was such a bunch of talented people across the board.
How about for you, Paul? I know you have improvised a funny line or two in your day. Was there a lot of improv on set? Was it just kind of all off the script?
Craig Gillespie's got a great sense of humor. He and I worked together previously, so he knows I improvise. And he would always give me a take at the very end where they kind of keep the camera rolling and you just do the same thing 4 or 5 times in a row and try to find a synonym way to do it every other time, and that was fun. Some of those little bits and pieces that Joel and I made up on the day ended up on the film, which is cool.
Well, here's hoping there's a plan C.
Right, what's plan C?
Well, what I'm saying is there a plan C?
Get it!
A bit quicker, you're a dog!
Oh! Didn't know you knew how to drive?
Oh, I don't.
Joel, do you remember the first time you read this script? What was something that stuck out to you?
The first thing that really stuck out to me with the story about the film was Craig describing things that would happen in the film. And that's the first time that stuff jumped out at me, really.
We had a really interesting moment where Craig pulled us into his office and played like the soundtrack and all the songs he was hoping to put into the movie. And that was kind of a big moment for Joel and I. We were excited and we were enthusiastic, but it clued us in that he was not making a Disney film. He was making a Craig Gillespie film that happened to be a Disney film. And that was informative for me, just indicative of the tone and the kinds of choices that Joel and I were going to be able to make.
So we are a movie theater, so I'm curious, Paul, why should people make sure to see Cruella on the big screen?
Because the scope of the movie is so big. London, we actually shot at the real Liberty store in London. Some of these famous streets, the costumes and the production design, it's such a full course meal of a movie that watching it on your phone is not the way to go. And hopefully you won't be the only one in the theater and you can share in the sort of laughter and the immediate reactions of an audience.
Yes, I would say that everything about this movie is epic. So folks, do not miss your chance to see what is surely going to be an instant classic. Get your tickets for Cruella at Cinemark.com.
Right now.
I'm Paul Walter Hauser, and I'll see you at Cinemark.
She stole my dogs. Don't worry, there's lots more bad things coming.
Perhaps